What is good, everybody? You know what time it is. It's the night before a match, and yep, it's a Tuesday, but we are ready to roll. This is Defenders of the Bank's favorite pre-match segment, of course. One more sleep. You know my voice. It's the Scarf, J.R. Liebert. Hoping everybody is doing well on a Tuesday night, sitting across the interwebs, but on screen, I believe it's to my left, one Christian Philly Philemon.
What's up, Defenders? Nothing says success quite like podcasting on a Tuesday, the day before Hump Day, the day before many of you are going to be heading to one of my favorite cities in the world, period. Beautiful Las Vegas, where the black and gold are going to invade Cashman Field and absolutely darken the Las Vegas lights.
Philly, I'm a little worried. We're going on the road. And I don't know if you've seen us play on the road this season, but it has been abysmal. Yes, I know. We're going to play against the USL club. Dare I say it, we've never lost against a USL club. So we'll see what happens. And we're going, look, it's not a typical road trip, right? We're getting on what, 4 hours away, Las Vegas. It's look, the good part is, Philly, you and I both heard the podcast. Thank you, Ruben. It's good to see you too. You and I both heard the media talk. Let's try that again. You and I both heard the media chat with Steve Cherundolo. Don't worry, I'm awake. And he talked a lot about roster management, turnover. We're going to be seeing a lot of different players in this one. And Philly, it tells you all you need to know when the only player that they show for media day before the match is Abraham Romero. I think it's safe to say, Billy, we know who's starting between the pipes against Las Vegas.
Yeah, that would be a pretty safe assumption. And when you go to your players to watch, now we've ended the mystery as to why you would have chosen that particular player. The Las Vegas Lights. Yes, we're going on the road, but let's not kid ourselves. We're going on the road to play a very bad USL team, a team that historically has not been very good ever, a team that's been around as long as we've been, and a team that has never won more than 11 games throughout the course of an entire season. Not to mention that when this club was bought by former Major League Baseball player Jose Bautista, he didn't have a coach. He didn't have a technical staff. He didn't have anything. So they quickly put together this Las Vegas Lights team in a rush. So you want to talk about us having a problem finding our identity? This is a team that kind of just got, oh my God, we'll take this guy. We'll take this guy. Can we please borrow this player, Mr. Big MLS Club? They don't have a solid team. They don't have anything. So I'm shocked that they've won 3 out of their first 5 games, but now not surprised that they're on a 4-game losing streak. So because we're going on the road against a crap team, I'm not really worried.
All right, well, I'm worried because I've seen us play on the road. But yeah, we'll talk a little bit about the Las Vegas Lights history real quick. They used to be our little kiddie club on the side. We loved the Las Vegas Lights. 2021, 2022, they were our direct affiliate. I mean, look, they were the smaller club that we would send players to. In fact, Philly, the second most appearances in club history for Las Vegas Lights, Christian Torres. Number 5 all-time Las Vegas Lights, Danny Crisostomo. Number 8 all-time Las Vegas Lights, Cal Jennings, Danny Trejo. We could go up and down the list, you guys, and it is all the younger players for LAFC over the course of our first few years. This is a club, you're absolutely right, Philly, 9th in the USL Championship Western Conference, 3 wins, 6 losses, no draws on 9 points. And look, the 100% thing we can count on for Las Vegas Lights is that they give up goals. Their 18 goals allowed is the most of all 24 clubs in USL Championship, Philly. So one thing that we know for sure is that we are going to be able to put goals past this club.
They don't score very many either, as they've only managed to find the back of the net on 10 occasions. What I can tell all of you going to Vegas with absolute certainty, because I've been to a game at Cashman Field between the Las Vegas Lights and San Antonio FC, back when we had a player from the University of Michigan by the name of Cal Jennings. Cal Jennings had a PK that equalized the game. The nice thing about Cashman Field, when you go in, yes, it is a baseball field. Without a doubt, it's built like a baseball field, although there is no more baseball being played there anymore because the Las Vegas 51s or Area 51s, whatever the hell they were called, they moved over to Summerlin. So that stadium right now is the exclusive property being leased by the Las Vegas Lights for another, they signed a pretty long lease. I think it was like a 15-year lease when they first came into the USO when they were announced on August 11, 2017. But anyway, cheap tickets, $20 general admission, $50 for the good stuff. It's a fun environment. You're going to see llamas. You're going to see all kinds of stuff. I know when Eric Winalda used to be part of there, they have a helicopter and they would drop money on the field. Not sure if that's the case anymore because when you bleed money like that and you suck, that's a recipe for disaster. I know they have kiddie pools over on the sideline. It's actually a very fun place to catch a game. And I would hope that the many of you that go in to catch the game are going to be aware of your surroundings. Don't get bit by a llama.
Yeah, you got to be careful of those runaway llamas. Look, the nice part about Open Cup, LAFC might have not had a ton of success in the U.S. Open Cup, but we definitely have some players on our roster who have enjoyed success. 3 of our players have won MLS Cup in their U.S. Open Cup in their careers. Ilie Sanchez, Ryan Hollingshead, and now Kai Kamara, who's new to our roster, obviously, this year. All 3 have tasted success in the U.S. Open Cup. And look, this is also a roster. We've got some guys that I'm sure will be seeing the pitch that have played in that stadium for Las Vegas Lights. We talked about it. Eric Duenas, Nathan Ordaz, and Abraham Romero all played significant amount of time with the Las Vegas Lights over the last few years when they were our affiliate. And I think we are going to see a lot of Eric Duenas, Nathan Ordaz, and Abraham Romero in this match.
Another fun fact for you defenders, and this one bodes very well for our listeners in the 42 Originals. The Lights were the first professional sports team in the United States to be licensed by a marijuana dispensary. So check out Nuwu, Nuwu. I believe it's 2 blocks away from Cashman Field. So if you're looking for a nice place to chill and catch the vibes, that's another thing to check out. But I don't condone that to obviously minors and all that other stuff. I'm not one that partakes too much, but interesting when you have those kinds of ties. Now, we were saying the Las Vegas Lights got put together in a very hastily fashion. Dennis Sanchez, their head coach, former assistant coach, by the way, for FC Broccoli's B team. So another thing to look forward to. Scarf, they're 1-4 in their last 5 games. Just got beat by New Mexico United. Even though the score line was 2-1, they were down 2-0 relatively early. The Charleston Battery destroyed them by a score of 6-0. They played the newest sensation in the USL and Chris Lafferty's new favorite club, Rhode Island FC. They lost. Monterey Bay, a team that we had a little bit of history with last season, they lost. But they managed to beat San Antonio. I feel like anytime the Vegas Lights play San Antonio FC, that is the only team they beat. So this is a team that does not have a good run of form. And true to your point, a team that allows a great deal of goals. Even in their own preview, they highlighted the fact that LAFC has not been good on the road, and they're going to look to exploit and take advantage of that. Well, the joke's on you, friends. While we might have not been very good on the road, you haven't been very good, period. So funny how you highlight that aspect when you haven't highlighted the fact that your team is just abysmal.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting, Philly. If we can shake these road woes, at least against the Las Vegas Lights, it may go a long way to building some confidence. So we'll see what happens there. Yes, you mentioned it. All the different losses. I just had a light go out above me as I'm talking right now. That's always fun. All of the losses that they have piled up this year, it has not been a great last 5 matches for them. They do have some weapons. I'm sure we'll get into this. There are a couple players, by the way, that I'm just going to mention real quick. Philly, I haven't seen who your player to watch is. So I don't want to step on any toes, but I am going to leave a little nugget out there for a player to watch that I think could be looking to have his best match for Las Vegas Lights. And if it wasn't going to be their keeper, their keeper that I'm talking about, it would be this kid, Alexander Romero, a midfielder on loan from the LAFC Academy. That's right. Las Vegas Lights are going to be employing one of our own from the Academy against us. He is a defensive midfielder and plays for the U20s of El Salvador. So that's going to be something to watch. And Philly, why don't you talk about a player to watch real quick while I see whoever is at my door? Give me one moment.
You have a solicitor? Wait, don't we have slides? Wasn't I supposed to put up slides? Well, I'm going to wait for Scarf to get back while he is answering the door. He's getting solicitors at 9:32 p.m. So if it's not DoorDash or Postmates, I hope he's going to be okay. It's getting pretty wild out there, and as the summer heat starts to come through, a little bit of crazy starts to run rampantly through this town. Just a couple other little quick facts I just want to let you guys know all about. Look, the Las Vegas Lights have never made it this far in their team's history. So they're already making historical scenarios that they haven't been a part of. We already mentioned how quickly the roster got put together. We talked about how they've been on a losing streak. Last season, they were knocked out in the third round of the U.S. Open Cup by Real Salt Lake. So there's a story there, just a little bit of backdrop. And now that you're here, I could actually utilize the slides.
So, real quick. Well, I just want to mention one other quick thing. Look, it's silly season. If
That's
it's
funny, by the way.
I know I saw Alan's comment. It's silly season. It's my favorite part of the year because we get something, Philly, called cup sets. That's right. We get something called cup sets, and we had one today. We're in the round of 32 where MLS clubs enter. And by the way, there's only 7 or 8 or 9 MLS clubs. I think it's 7, right? MLS clubs actually playing in this thing this year, which I think is an absolute travesty and a sham. But you know who didn't care how many MLS clubs were playing in the US Open Cup? They didn't care. Detroit City FC. Let's go. Rock City scoring the cup set in PKs over the Houston Dynamo today. Houston Dynamo, by the way, with a long pedigree of success in the U.S. Open Cup. Not so fast, my friend. Houston Dynamo is out of there, losing on PKs 10-9. Houston Dynamo they went to 10 rounds of PKs. Detroit City FC becoming the first team to knock an MLS team out. San Jose Earthquakes today beat the Oakland Roots. FC Dallas today beat the Fighting Tim Howards of Memphis 901 FC. Atlanta United won today. They beat up on Charlotte Independence 3-0. And so those are the other MLS results. But yeah, we had our first big one, Philly, with Detroit City FC taking down Houston Dynamo. And just in case, if you're curious, tomorrow, if you're into the MLS or MLS teams playing, Sporting Kansas City plays Union Omaha. Seattle Sounders plays the former club of Mark Anthony K, Louisville City FC, and Real Salt Lake also takes on New Mexico United. See, this is my favorite part. LAFC in the chat says Orange County eliminated by some team I never heard of. Loudon United. Loudon United actually goes way back in the U.S. Open Cup. You guys, I love the Open Cup. I can't wait. It's just going to be awesome. Yeah, I think Latif, did score an actual goal during the run of play. Latif Blessing with a goal in the 31st minute for the Houston Dynamo. I don't think they let him. They went, what is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, they went 11 deep, and maybe they subbed off Latif. Maybe that wasn't why he wasn't allowed to take one. But Andrew Tarbell, their keeper, missed the last PK for Houston. So Philly, it's cup set season. Cup set season, baby. I love it. Let's talk about, by the way, James Murphy. You remember James Murphy of the inaugural roster? He was on Monterey Bay FC last year. He actually scored a PK. Scored a PK for Detroit City FC in this one. So a little bit of our first-year heritage still moving on in the Open Cup. Can you tell I'm excited about the Open Cup, Philly? Let's get into it.
Yeah, far more excited than I am, and I should probably be a lot more excited about this. By the way, defenders, for those of you who are on Instagram wondering why we're not chiming in, we're not seeing the comments on here. Just FYI, for whatever reason, anytime we go live on the StreamYard, We don't see the comments from Instagram. We see them from Twitter. We see them from YouTube. I haven't figured that part out yet. So Scarf, I don't know how good of a multitasker you are. Perhaps one of us could, or both of us could have the thing live from our own personal accounts just to make sure we address some of the comments. We're not ignoring you, defenders, just haven't gotten into it. Real quick, before we get into it, though, Scarf, Houston, you talked about Houston. 2018, that was the best that LAFC had ever fared within the U.S. Open Cup. They made it to the semifinals. We had a lot of action against USL sides. Fourth round, we beat Fresno FC. Round of 16, we almost lost to Sacramento Republic. Quarterfinals, we beat the pesky Pine Trees of Portland. And then the day that you were off at a Weezer concert, Panda and I were at the bank in what was once called Free Play. The amazing game in which LAFC was getting their butts kicked, and then Diego Rossi just came in strong, tied the game in late minutes. We went into PKs. Big misses by, you mentioned him, Latif Blessing. Ironic that he's on Houston right now. And Laurent Simon sealed our doom, lost 7-6 in the Open Cup semifinal. Houston, I think, went on to play Philly that year and beat them. That's the best that we've ever done. 2019, we got booted in the quarterfinals by Portland. Nothing in 2020 or 21 due to COVID. 2022, we made it all the way to the round of 16 where we got beat by the Galaxy. And then 2023, we played that awesome game with the Young Bucks, Monterey Bay FC up north. We won in PKs. Eldin Jakubovic had a smashing goal in that game, the only player from the senior side to compete. And that was the game in which Ricky Pooch thought he scored in the World Cup, taking off his shirt and running the fool right around the north end because he scored on some kid that was, just a couple of years younger than him. So that's a little bit of the story in regards to our Open Cup, just to let y'all know. Now we can get into things since we've been talking about history. You ready, Scarf? And LA Space FC, by the way, it's going to be Bayern Munich. And since you brought it up really quickly, if y'all have Paramount Plus on the Golosa Network, I'll be featured, I think, on the pregame, potentially the halftime and the postgame to give my thoughts on Bayern and the Real Madrid game. So if you have Paramount Plus Golosa Network, check me out. It should be on 11:45. Anyway, going right into it, Scarf, your player to watch.
Yeah, look, if the last name seems familiar for the Las Vegas Lights goalkeeper, it absolutely is. Randy Arozarena's brother is the goalkeeper for Las Vegas Lights, Raiko Arozarena. And look, he's decent. He's got some caps with the senior Cuban men's national team, not the under 20s or the under 23s or anything else. He is one of the keepers in the mix to be the starter for Cuba's national team, Raiko Arozarena, and he has been by far their most consistent keeper. They do employ a second keeper, but he has not been very good this season. And the reason why I'm picking Raiko Arozarena, certainly because you've heard the last name before, and a player like Randy Arozarena's brother has got to be pretty athletic. So let's just start there. But I'm also going to be focusing. I don't think Cuba's awful. I really want to go to Cuba, by the way. I've never been.
Before it gets Americanized, for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I really want to focus on the keepers because there has been a keeper who has been toiling away for LAFC for years at our different levels and really hasn't had a chance to shine on the first club's roster, but he has been our backup keeper all season. I don't know that we're at the point where maybe a couple of people are going to want him to play over one Hugo Lloris, but he's going to get his moment in the sun just like Eldin Jakubovic did last year. And I am really looking forward to the way that Abraham Romero is going to play in this match. I think he is going to be very, very ready for sure. I think he has earned his spot. I have seen him play very well over the last couple of years with LAFC too. And I think he was very excited in the press conference today, talking about being able to go out there to represent LAFC, to play well. And look, he's also got to be hearing a little bit when you sign a guy like David Ochoa to LAFC too, you got to maybe, I don't know, be looking over your shoulder a little bit for that second keeper spot. But I think Abraham Romero has put in the work. He's earned it. And I am so excited to see how he fares for LAFC in this match.
Just because the question was asked, where can we watch these games? Well, on TV for free. Well, it says TV and then has websites. I always find that funny. But watch.usopencup.com is one of the sites. MLSsoccer.com would be another one. And then USLsoccer.com would be the third way to watch this game. Also, you could hear Dave Denholm on 710 AM ESPN and the ESPN LA app. So those are the spots to check out the game for those of you that are wondering. All right, my players to watch. Look, I can't say that I did a deep dive, all-inclusive run down the Las Vegas Lights, but I did watch highlights in their last match against New Mexico United, and it turns out that this guy happens to be pretty good. His last name is Samake. He's from the Sierra Leone, I believe where he's from. Here's a player that leads the Las Vegas Lights in assists with 2 and goals with 3. So here's a guy that can find the back of the net pretty consistently. And he's also a player that is featured in Major League Soccer with the likes of DC United. So he's a player to keep an eye on. What the heck happened here? Yes. So that would be my player to watch on the Las Vegas Lights. And you mentioned him. I am saying Nathan Ordaz. Why? Because he's going to go up against his former club, more than likely with some meaningful minutes. I don't know what Steve Cherundolo is going to do in terms of his lineup, but it's a pretty darn good chance, based on how history seems to repeat itself, that he's going to go with the young players. Nathan Ordaz is going to be a game changer in this matchup. We've seen him do some pretty good things. We've seen him do some not so pretty good things as well on the senior club. But when it comes down to him competing against USL talent, I think he's going to have a really significant contribution into this game, whether he assists or scores. That's my player to watch.
You didn't want to take a chance at the name Jausu Samake. That's exactly who that is. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists for them on the season, tied for the team lead in both of those categories with Valentin Noel. So it's going to be interesting. They got 2 players that tend to make a lot of the noise for them in Samake and Noel. And also, don't forget, don't sleep on a guy by the name of JC Ngondo. He's created 15 chances for Las Vegas Lights so far this season. He's a midfielder who usually tends to have the ball at his feet, looking for either Samake or Noel. So it's going to be really interesting to see how they use Ngondo. I think we're going to be able to shut him down personally. I've also talked about Alexander Romero already, another midfielder who, again, is on loan for LAFC Academy. But Philly, you're absolutely right. If there was a player that I could have chosen besides Abraham Romero, it would have absolutely been the Wonder Kid, Nate the Great, Nathan Ordaz. I am so excited to see him get significant minutes. Look, I think that he is a guy who is going to be playing with a chip on his shoulder, just like you said. But again, guys to watch out for. You're absolutely right. Samake and Noel, those are the 2 that stir the straws that stir the drink for Las Vegas Lights. And usually in Vegas, it's something strong if you're stirring a drink in Vegas. I can't wait. Philly, let's talk about our keys to the match.
Yes, sir. That was a weird way to do this. Anyway, there you go.
It went upside down and downside up. There you go. First is set piece prowess. And what I mean is both success on our side on set pieces, and for the love of God, can we defend a corner kick just once in the last couple of games? I would absolutely love us to be able to put these corner kick defense woes behind us. And I think if you can just get enough successful corner kick defenses against any team, I don't care who it is, you're going to start to feel a lot better about things. And I think that is what we are going to have to do time and time and time again. We see your guys' roster questions about this match in a second. We'll get to them. Just give us one quick second. But set piece prowess, we've got to score off of a set piece. We've got plenty of weapons to be able to do so. And we've got to make sure that we defend. So that's my first key. Second is to get out and run. Look, I don't know that there is going to be a side in USL that can keep up with any of our wings, whether it's Nathan Ordaz. Let's see how many minutes, if any, Denis Bouanga gets. Let's see how many minutes, if any, that Kike Oliveira gets. Let's see how many minutes Kai Kamara gets. I mean, Kai Kamara is an athlete the likes of which most USL clubs have not seen before, whether it's jumping in the box and being able to get to those headers, whether it's winning aerials in midfield, whether it's using his acumen and his veteran skill and craftiness to be able to win balls left and right. We need to get out and run. And if that means Edward Atuesta, if that means Matty Bogusz, if that means Timothy Tillman, push the pace on these guys and score, score, score.
All right. My key to the game, it's very simple. Very simple. And I don't give a hoot whether we start players from the senior side. Well, obviously they will be the senior side. Or whether we bring the young kids, unless obviously it's all the LAFC 2 players. But it's simple. Smash. And I don't mean that obviously in the slang term. I know it's Vegas. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. But not that kind of smash, you perverts. Absolutely go out there and just kill these players. Look, the Las Vegas Lights, for a team, once again, that hastily got put together, a team that is lacking in chemistry, lacking in identity. There is absolutely zero reason, zero excuse, zero anything you want to say. We should not lose this game. We should go in there and absolutely treat them like they're a high school JV team, because that's the way they've been playing in their last 5 games. 1-4 in their last 5. Only beat San Antonio. Yes, they won 3 out of their first 5, but they fell back down to reality. This should not even be a question of a game. This shouldn't even be a contest. This should be an easy go to sleep at halftime kind of a scenario and end things. Whether Denis starts or whether it's a lineup featuring players like Ordaz, the young ones, we should walk out of Cashman Field and win this one outright. And it's a simple game plan. Go in there and smash. That's it. I don't like the fact that we totally disregarded the U.S. Open Cup last year. I also don't like the fact that the cost of the ticket at BMO Stadium last season against the Galaxy was that of a regular season game. And obviously we saw the young kids go in, put a pretty good Herculean effort against the Galaxy, but lose. This should be something that we treat with a little bit more respect. Not because of the history and all that other stuff, because we put the focus on one thing and we fell flat on our face and everything else. Let's at least put the focus on this for one time. Bob Bradley did that. Steve, you should do that now too.
Yeah, it's tough, right? Because of where this comes in our schedule. It's early enough in the year to where we should be putting the emphasis on it. It's also tough because, like we said on the San Jose Earthquakes podcast that we did last week, or a couple of days ago now, not necessarily last week, is that we're playing 4 matches in a span of a very short amount of time. So this is another time where we've got to kind of mix roster turnover and rest with, we need to go out there and win. But you know what? It's for a damn trophy, and it's for a spot in the 2025 CONCACAF Champions Cup. So I absolutely agree. We need to take it seriously, and we need to play our starters at least 45 minutes. Let's get out to an early lead, and let's put it away.
Oh,
that's okay. 2-1. That's what I got. I think it is going to be much more of a nail biter than it should be. I think that the part of the problem with, do you want to take Kickball Pod's Valentine Noel comment off there? It's been on there for quite some time now. We got to have some other better comments out there. I just think that this is going to be much more of a grind than it needs to be. I think that we have found ways to make life difficult for ourselves on the road. We have found ways to play down to some other teams. And I think that while we will race out, and I mean race out, to a 2-0 lead, I genuinely think that after we make some subs and put the game away 2-0 in the first half, that we're going to make it a little bit tougher than we should on ourselves. I wish I had the confidence to say that this LAFC club is going to just smack around the Las Vegas Lights in their own home. A team that averages less than a couple of thousand in attendance is going to bring out all the stops. We know that black and gold jersey, that crest on the front, means a target on our backs, and we are going to see their best effort. Unfortunately, they just don't have enough talent. They just don't have enough run left in them, and I think they fall short, and we win 2-1.
I would agree with everything but your score line. I don't agree that this is going to be a close game at all. They won't hang with us. They'll fall off relatively quickly. But just going back to my previous key to the game, smash 3-0. This shouldn't even be a question. How hard could it be to score 3 goals against the 9th place team in the USL? It should not be that hard. And this isn't me riding a high horse. I am a fan of very bad teams. I don't have an ego. I don't have this pretentiousness when it comes to the clubs I love and support. I've been beaten down and grounded by reality time and time again. But this time around, if there is any time this entire season where I feel comfortable that we're going to walk out of this scenario with a big win, it's going to be at Cashman Field. 3-0. We're absolutely going to win this game. It'll be over before halftime. And that's all she wrote. There is no reason why it should be anything otherwise. It really isn't.
I just want to remind everybody that it seems like every so often there's one of these USL clubs that comes up and plays us pretty tough. And I think if we go back, what was it, 2018, right?
We had the Republic gave us some shit. I almost said a bad word. Gave us some stuff. Yes, I agree with you.
Yeah, the team I'm looking at, guys, 2018, LAFC beat Sacramento Republic 3-2 in what was a much tougher game at the time than it needed to be. Now, I also think that LAFC squad in 2018 wasn't nearly as talented as this LAFC squad that we have right now. But I'll say this, it should absolutely be enough. I completely agree that it should be 3-0, but I'm getting that feeling of Sacramento Republic FC a la 2018 again, even though this team I don't think is as good as Sacramento Republic and we're better. It's going to be interesting, man. It's going to be a lot of fun. Look, Alexander, the thing that happened to Sacramento getting an MLS club is their owner decided to buy Bournemouth instead. So
no, that's not correct.
It wasn't
the
Bournemouth?
Owner of Sacramento Republic had his fortune tied to the hospitality industry. When COVID hit, that soured that. The individual that wanted to buy Bournemouth was the consortium that owned the Las Vegas Lights, because they were trying to make the push for the MLS franchise to be in Las Vegas. Rather than pay that $500 million franchise fee, build a new stadium, go through the painstaking process of players and personnel, he opted to buy Bournemouth. That's who you're talking about. That's
true. That's right. You're absolutely right. I got my two stories conflated. But yeah, look, Sacramento Republic, they're not getting they're not getting one. So, Philly, you've got 3-0. I've got 2-1. I'm assuming you're not going to the game tomorrow in your favorite city.
I can't, man. I'd love to, believe you me. I love to, but I mean, obviously, I had that shotgun trip calling the MASL final in Mexico. I'm going. If you're going to follow the TST, I'm going to be riding with a team called Tranquilo FC, which is made up of a bunch of major arena soccer league players. And by the way, our buddy Maurice Adu, he's the ambassador for that side. So yeah, that's where I'll be. So I can't keep taking these days off. Jay Gutierrez, I like what you're saying. In fact, Tony Villegas, you had the request. I'm going to put it up to her. History has a tendency to repeat itself. Back in the year 2022, in the third round of the U.S. Open Cup, LAFC took on the Orange County Soccer Club and won by a score of 5-1. Hello Kitty's interpretation and prediction will be LAFC wins 5-0. I trump Philly and the scarf. Good day, good night, and no, I am not you, Virginia Doubtfire.
I try not to use that verb as often as possible anymore, but totally hear you. Hello Kitty has 5-1. Philly has 3-0. Scarf is going to stay conservative at 2-1. There's also a chance, by the way, there's a chance that you might see Scarf at Cashman Field tomorrow. I don't know. We'll see.
How are you going to get to Cashman Field? You're a teacher, for Christ's sake. You got papers to grade till 3-4 o'clock. You of all people know that the ride from Vegas is going to be a nightmare. You're not going to make it. What are you doing? How are you going to make it?
I'm just saying.
You're going to play hooky?
I can't play hooky the whole day, that's for sure. But we'll see. We'll see. You might see a Scarf sighting in Vegas, is all I'm saying.
Well, I've been to Cashman Field, so you have not. It's a good experience. I imagine tickets will be available for you. $50 gets you the hottest seat there. $20 just gets you in the building. It's a fun place. Yes, again, it's built like a baseball field, but baseball is no longer played there, folks. Capacity of 9,334 or 7, something like that. Are we going to see it filled to the brim? What do you think?
Absolutely. 100%. I think we see a sellout. I think it's the biggest thing to happen. I think Jose Bautista is going to mobilize all the fan base that he possibly can. But unfortunately for Jose
He's gonna do a
Bautista,
backflip to get people there.
he is going to get Rugnet Odored by LAFC. If you guys remember that fight at second base, Rugnet Odor scored a first-round TKO on Jose Bautista after they squared up. That is exactly what LAFC is going to do to Las Vegas Lights, even though I only said 2-1. Hello Kitty's way more bullish than I am. Philly's way more bullish than I am, but we'll see, Philly.
Yep, absolutely. Folks, we kind of ate into the time of our Friends podcast. So if you want more content and more of a preview of the game going on tomorrow, I think our LAFC is on live on YouTube. So when you're done over here, go pay our friends a visit over there for more LAFC content.
Get over there. Let's stop talking. Let's play that cool outro music.
Well, let me see if I can find it. It's been a while. Oh, there it is.